my friend's 2012 Dodge Charger RT, and as a lot of you know here, I'm really not a huge fan of American cars, but this one just kind of stole my heart the first time I drove it, and today I've got the opportunity to show it to you guys. So this one has the optional HID headlights, which look really nice, and you've also got the fog lights down there. The front end of this car just looks really aggressive, the way the headlights kind of angle in, and the very bold, strong look of the grille just looks really nice, I think, and gives it a nice aggressive appearance. Also on this car you have the aftermarket decals here on the hood, kind of in these indentations. They are black and it's kind of a flat matte finish, so it looks really nice. And also on the front of this car, just as a nice little touch there, is the Dodge emblem in the grille. Side of the Charger, it has a very aggressive and strong stance. So you've got kind of the long hood up there with a very short front overhang, and then as you come across the car, everything starts to get kind of heavier and bigger towards the back. You've also got this body line that runs in the doors there, which is a nice accent. And once we get around to the back, you've got that long overhang, the sloping roof line, so it just looks really powerful and really strong. I just love the look of this car from the side. Also, this one has the chrome wheels on it, which don't look too bad. For the Charger here, we have the dual exhaust outlets, and this one actually has an aftermarket catback exhaust on it, so it sounds exceptionally good. You've got the taillights that stretch across the entire deck lid with the gloss black surround, and this one has an aftermarket matte black spoiler for that extra sporty accent there. It just looks really good in my opinion. I just love the look of these Chargers. You know, it'd be really cool if they made this generation in the wagon and called it a Dodge Magnum like we had with the previous generation Charger, but unfortunately it's only available as the sedan. RT has Dodge's smart key entry system, and it also has remote start. So we'll just go ahead and lock it here and push the start button twice. You can hear that exhaust, it just sounds so good on startup. So now that we've started it from the outside, we'll go ahead and unlock it here. And so this one has the silver exterior and it's paired with the black leather interior, as you can see. It's a great combination, especially with the subtle black accents that he has on the exterior of the car. Also, he has added the piping around the dash here, which you'll see a little bit better later on, and also on the door panels. It's a nice touch, and it kind of wraps around the corner here, which is great. Now, you've also got the off-white stitching in the door panel, so the interior actually looks really nice and luxurious when you get inside. I'm going to start it up for you guys again. So you can definitely hear it from the inside, but it's not overbearing. It is nice and quiet. You've got easy to read gauges here with a very interesting font here. It's nice and sporty and aggressive looking. You've also got the 3-spoke leather wrapped steering wheel with your multi-function controls for your Bluetooth and chip computer over here. Cruise control on this side, and your audio is actually on the back of the spokes here, which is kind of an interesting feature. We just have the single stock, so everything is here for the turn signals and the wipers. Then the lights are located on this dial down here. I've also got fog lights on this car, which is nice. We've got the brightness controls and the trunk release. Over here on the door panel, the top is pretty soft. You've also got the chrome door handle, and it feels nice and solid, which is surprising for a Dodge. You've also got the power windows and mirrors all located right here, and a nicely padded armrest too. See, it does have the piping around the center portion of the dash here, which is nice. Gives it a kind of a luxurious touch, if you will. So it does have the touchscreen audio system where you can actually control the radio, the climate control, and the phone from here. So it has the satellite radio. If you wanted to manually enter a station, you can do so just by typing in the number, which is really cool. So you just do it like that, which is nice. You've also got your presets along the top. And if we go to controls here, this will bring up the heated seat, and you can also turn the screen off if you wanted to. Climate control, you can adjust the temperature, the zones, all of that. And then in the phone here is where you would pair your telephone, and you can dial numbers and all that from right in here. Unfortunately, this car does not have a backup camera, so you put it into reverse and nothing happens. You've got the push button start right there. And then you've also got some manual controls here for things like the audio system and the climate control. It's fairly minimalistic, So you've got your fan here, which is kind of odd that it's this big dial when you've actually got automatic climate control. Temperature is on the buttons on the side here. You've got your volume, tuning, defrost, recirculate, air conditioning, and then on the two corners here is where you have your traction control off and your hazards. So moving on to the center console here, you've got the shifter here, and it is the 5-speed automatic transmission. You've got a little storage slot there, and this one actually has heated and cooled cup holders, which is really nice. And we've got the padded armrest, and the center console is actually not too bad. So usually rear-wheel drive cars have a very shallow center console, just because of all the drivetrain components running through the middle of the car, but this one isn't too bad. Take a look in the back here, and of course you have the fairly large center hump. This car actually has heated rear seats. That's all controlled right there. So the legroom is pretty decent, but I would honestly expect a little bit better from a car that's this big. The seats are nice and big, though. They look really comfy. And you've also got a little bit of storage in the armrest here, which folds down. So overall, it's a pretty decent back seat. And you can also see the piping there on the doors, which is really cool. The roof line kind of comes down, so if you are fairly tall, you'll probably want to sit up front. But for most passengers, the back seat is actually not bad. You can release the trunk either through the button inside the car or on the key fob, but as long as the key is in range, just push this button and it will open right up. And you can see it's very long. The opening is fairly wide too. Again, it's a little shallow just because of all the drivetrain components, but considering the length and everything, it's a really decent sized trunk. Also, the hinges are nicely tucked away inside there, which is kind of a nice touch there. So looks pretty good inside here. Again, we'll just take a look in the back seat here. Looks pretty nice. And once again, here is the front. The center console is nice and high, giving you that kind of cockpit feel, especially with everything here in the center angled towards the driver just slightly. We've also got the Charger emblem here on the dash. The glove box is actually pretty decent. It's also lined with felt, which is nice. So special, of course, is what's under the hood. So we'll go ahead and open it up here. And we have Dodge's 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine. And from the factory, this car makes about 390 horsepower, which is pretty good, really. So you can see just how massive this engine is. It takes up every inch of room that's available in this already large engine compartment. Over here we've got an aftermarket cold air intake, and it really is a true cold air intake because it actually sucks air in from down behind the fog light there. So that is really nice. And you've also got the aftermarket catback exhaust system on this car. And it does have a very mild tune on it as well. So I'm not exactly sure how much power this car is making, but let me tell you, it is quick. So it's quick and it's loud and it's a blast to drive. Let's go ahead and start it up and see what it sounds like, shall we? Quick look at the beautiful 2012 Dodge Charger RT.